of movement.
Yeah, it makes it softer to hear. It's easier for people to hear a hard message when it's a soft, good-looking woman saying it. It's just
showing the ways in which, you know, there's actually more familiarity, more similarity, you know, between, you know, what the far right believes and what mainstream conservatives believe, I think is really crucial.
There's one key demographic in particular to whom female far-right influencers appear to have a special appeal, and that's other women.
So, okay. So if you happen to be a woman, you are a conservative, so you believe in family, freedom, guns, and your country. Something's wrong with you. All right, friends, in today's video, we are gonna go over to Vice. Oh, goodness, Vice. Anyway, yeah, and the title of this one, guys, is The Rise. The rise of far-right female influencers. Are you a woman who is conservative? Are you, let me ask another question. Are you a white conservative woman? If you happen to be one of those, I'm here to say, according to this 11 minutes and 36 seconds, should I say, documentary, I mean, you're the worst type of person in the world. Do you love families? You love your husband? You believe in traditional homes and caring for the ones you love? Do you love voting for your country? Do you love the Republicans instead of the Democrats? And are you a white woman? Now, the black women are not mentioned about here. I mean, the black conservative women in this documentary, I didn't see any of them. So we're going to take a listen to this. We're going to react to this together because we're going over to Vice today. Vice. If you don't know anything about Vice, get ready, because Vice is Vice. Okay, let's pay a listen to this. All right. Without further ado, let's get to this.
Traditionally, the far right has been a male-dominated and often openly misogynistic space.
Feminism is cancer. Thank you very much.
But in recent years, at least on the surface, something has changed.
At its core, feminism is ideological poison.
Across the world, women have emerged as key figures in far-right movements, playing a central role in softening the image and broadening the appeal of extremist politics.
They are absolutely crucial to spreading the ideology, but they are also crucial to spreading the ideology with a smile and making it seem palatable.
It was women that got Trump elected. And I guess to be really edgy, it was also women that got Hitler elected.
Across the US and Europe, a new generation of female social media personalities are emerging as figureheads of far-right movements.
If you get permanently banned on Twitter like I was, do not start a new Twitter account. You'll just build up your platform again and get kicked off again. Just move to Gab and Minds.
In Italy, the far-right politician Giorgia Meloni has just made history.
Tonight, Italy is preparing for its first ever female prime minister.
In France, Marine Le Pen, head of the far-right National Rally, has established herself as the leading rival to President Emmanuel Macron.
Le Pen is known for her far-right stances, like restricting immigration.
You can't just be right. You can't just be conservative. You can't just be a Republican. No. You are far right. It's just, you have to actually pay attention to the words. Pay attention to the words. They have to be far right. They can't just be a people who love their country. They can't just be a people who oppose the Democratic Party. No. They are far. And when you hear far rights, automatically, they fall in a line of people whom they refer to as being racist, whom they refer to as being supportive of Donald Trump, whom they refer to as the kind of bigots, or they have names for these people, but they fall into white supremacists. And again, this is what they are saying these women are as. Okay. Just making sure you understand what it means to be a far right woman. Okay.
And banning Muslim women from wearing headscarves in public.
Have women actually become a secret weapon for the far right?
Wow. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Women on the far right have emerged as major social media presences, becoming leading influencers of the radical right.
I blame feminism for
Far right, radical right.
the reaction to what's going on and for the perpetuation of what's going on and why this migration, this mass migration into Europe has gotten so bad.
Lana Locktiff made her name spreading racist and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories through the white supremacist media channel she runs with her husband.
Let me run through a few other European
White supremacist media channel. Woo!
Supremacist media channel.
White supremacist media channel. You think if there was really a white supremacist media channel on YouTube right now, you think they will still exist with how left-leaning YouTube is? Come on now. Let's be honest.
Runs with her husband.
I don't even know anything about the channel. I can already say this is a biased statement. I can already tell, especially when you start your video by talking about far-right women. It's like, give me a break. Like, leave these women alone because they disagree with you.
Let me run through a few other European classics coming out that replace the main white character.
Locktiff has been clear about the...
So what seems to be wrong with that? There is a lot of movies where the Caucasian characters are removed without even getting into the nitty-gritty of it. So for them to disagree with the way this is being portrayed in the media when everything has become so woke, we are so woke, we no longer awake. But the thing is, to disagree with that doesn't necessarily mean they are racist. You can't tell me that. It's like me disagreeing as a black man by you replacing black characters in movies. I think, oh no, why are we doing that, right? By questioning that, oh, you automatically are racist. You don't call the black people racist when they question things, but if a person is white, and now if you happen to be a woman, conservative, and especially if you straight, you dare not oppose the machine.
Unique roles she believes women should and should not play within far-right movements.
Although I think women are too emotional for leading roles in politics, this is the time for female nationalists to be loud.
Yeah.
Why? Men. Women have a special power to inspire and motivate men.
Ha! Woo! Wait, I don't know what this documentary is trying to do because I don't know. Is it me being biased or naive or there was nothing she said that was wrong. Can you hear again?
Women have a special power to inspire and motivate men.
What is so wrong with that? Somebody help me out. What was so wrong with what she said? It's true. It's true. And are women emotional? Yes, they are. There are some things women were not meant to do. Doesn't mean they can't do it, but they won't be able to do it as well. There are some things that men are not meant to do, okay? And that's just the way of the world. So what this woman said is not a lie. And there are ways that men can uplift their wives also. And there are things that women can do to uplift their husband. Where's the racism at?
A traditionally attractive woman with blonde hair and, a red lip. It somehow it's supposed to seem less odious when they talk about, white superiority, but it's about putting up a certain veneer. It's also absolutely about recruitment.
Yes, it's certainly true that the presence of women kind of humanizes and also almost justifies a movement.
Yeah, it makes it softer to hear. It's easier for people to hear a hard message when it's a soft, good-looking woman saying it. It's just...
Amen. Don't we use women to sell cars? Don't we use them to sell cell phone? We use them to sell medicine. We use women. You can't even play football without some women jumping with pom-poms. What are you talking about? So it's not anything new. The world knows this. But to use women in a political circle to stand for conservative values, oh, that's far right. That's white supremacist. That's a blonde, red lipstick woman. By the way, I gotta tell you, Vice, there's a lot of black women that are conservative. But I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna ignore them. You're gonna act like they don't exist. Okay, keep trying.
Showing the ways in which, there's actually more familiarity, more similarity, between, what the far right believes and what mainstream conservatives believe, I think is really crucial.
There's one key demographic in particular to whom female far-right influencers appear to have a special appeal, and that's other women.
The majority of white women voted
Duh.
for Trump. So I think the media is trying to spin it that, oh my God, all these women are feminists now. I think the majority are not feminists. And when you actually talk to women and say, well, what does that really mean? You find that the majority of them are actually quite traditional.
The irony is that Locktiff and other far-right influencers spend much of their time railing against the feminist movement that one woman...
I love how they like to associate any group of people with Trump and automatically demonize them as a result of them voting or loving Trump. That, to me, is not okay. You see, a person or a group of people may agree with a particular candidate that you disagree with. This doesn't necessarily mean everything that that candidate believes make that group of people evil. Do you see how they play this game? So I am not necessarily saying there are some people I will never vote for. I will never vote for Adolf Hitler. I will never vote for some, white supremacist that I am aware is up to something. I will never vote for some individuals that I know for certain are pushing values that are anti-Christian. I will never do that. But there are some candidates that you can vote for that are doing things that you may not fully agree with. In other words, they don't have to agree with my values 100% to agree with some things that they are pushing. You understand? So the way they like to demonize women and connect them to Trump is something that I don't agree with, because it's kind of like people can love Trump. That doesn't mean they agree with everything Trump was about. Women can agree with Trump. Men can agree with Trump. Guess what? A lot of black men did agree with Trump. They were just wearing a highlight. They didn't make the news. A lot of black women agreed with Trump, voted for Trump, supported Trump. They just didn't make the news. Okay? They were hidden. Because no, black people can't be supporting Trump. There's no way. All black people should vote Democrats. You are out of your mind. So that's not what's happening here in reality. So I don't like how they make these connections. It's something that I always pay attention to. It's like, stop doing that. People can do what they want to do. Doesn't mean they have to fall in line with your values or whom you agree with.
Far-right influencers spend much of their time railing against the feminist movement that won women the right to a public political voice in the first place.
Amen.
I think of women back then not being able to vote and having the whole one house, one vote thing. Why would you marry a man who wouldn't vote in your best interest or you wouldn't agree with politically to begin with?
They sort of position themselves, or they have this posture of, as a woman, I can speak to what feminism really is. Women who feel threatened by it, women who don't see a place for themselves. They think that feminism has made the world a worse place.
Excuse me? What are you talking about, woman? Exactly. So they're not wrong. Should I say amen for what they think about feminism? Listen to what she said.
Made the world a worse place.
Yes, feminism has done that. Now, it has done some good things as well. But however, feminism has gone to the extreme. At least the modern version of feminism we have today, that stuff is extreme. This is the place where they go as far as hating men. I've heard feminists going mad just because a man opens a door to her. Feminists ain't going mad over that. What kind of crazy nonsense is this? It's almost like the feminists today, they go as far as hating men. It's not like, oh, we want equal rights and equal pay. No, this is far beyond what they were asking for. They go as far as demonizing men. If I happen to be a man, a feminist just can't stand you just because you are a man. That's how far this stuff has gone. Guess what? I have no respect for that. And these women, these supposed far white, supremacist, conservative women, I agree with them. That's common sense.
They think that it is ultimately an anti-woman project.
I don't know. I'm not sure if, and I know I'm criticizing Vice. I know they're going to strike my video and yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to get a copyright strike on this video. Okay, Vice. These women are telling the truth. Listen to what she said. This woman.
They think that it is ultimately an anti-woman project.
It is. Ultimately, it is. And a lot of women are waking up to that now. I'm just sad that you haven't waken up to it yet.
They also describe partnership and motherhood as political action, because when your whole project is about guaranteeing the future of whiteness, fulfilling all of that is a matter of politics.
Oh, give me a break. So how is their whole project is about guarantee the future of whiteness? Please. Like, and this is what they do. They add a little bit of salt and sugar to the conversation. And if you're not paying attention, you think, wait, that was a twist. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. That looks great. Now, this is complete.
And guess what? An atheist can say the same thing about Christians. You know how often I hear this stuff like this? And guess what? Freedom of speech. You go ahead, brother. I'm not mad at you.
Hey, you're done. Got this cute ad-friendly makeup look.
Figures like the Canadian alt-right star, Lauren Southern, operate as independent, empowered entrepreneurs and consciously use the same social media strategies as other online influencers to build their following.
Underestimated the amount of people that were going to be here. I said there was only going to be 1,000. There are thousands. Hey, it's someone who watches the channel. How's it going?
Alongside the anti-feminist rhetoric from influencers has been the growth of an entire online subculture known as tradwives, who actively reject pursuing their own careers or independence in favor of raising families and submitting to their husbands.
Oh, wow.
Don't listen.
That is something so horrible. Oh, that's such a bad thing. There is nothing wrong with that. You see, women who invest in their families and raising their children are literally the women that are changing and saving the world. Today is either or. You go to work, leave the children to those schools that are teaching them all kind of crazy, these indoctrination camps. Just let them raise your children for you, or you can choose to do it yourself, caring and supporting your husband, and invest in your children and save the world and the nation. It's one of those things. It's either. Because you have to understand the enemy is tearing apart the homes. So these women that are going back to their traditional roles, raising children, are not the problems. They are the solution, by the way. They are solving the one problem that is deteriorating the race, which is broken home and broken families. And children that are being raised without law and order, without morality. Children who are not being properly educated, children who are being indoctrinated in all kind of crazy LGBT nonsense. Guess what? These women are solving the problem. News for you.
To this narrative of feminism that is killing white Western society.
Amen.
Don't buy into it.
The trad movement is this movement to celebrate women who are in traditional roles.
You see, these people are driving me crazy. What is wrong with that? What is so wrong with that? You see, the idea that they want to push is that if a woman is at home, caring for their loved ones, caring for their children, she is just bad. What? Are you crazy? You want to take her out of the home and driving her crazy in this capitalist society and making money and everything. Nothing wrong with that. I'm saying women should work. I have no issue with that. But at the same time, we shouldn't be neglecting the home. And I think it's not just women. Fathers should be involved in the life of their children as well. I'm one of those fathers. I want to be involved. I'm in the games. I'm in the piano lesson. I want to be there. I'm not one of those guys who are like, oh, happy go lucky, we should not trust the system to raise our children. No. That's the problem. And I think by what feminism has done is he has robbed women from their natural position and traditional roles, as God intended for it to be. And as a result of doing that, men fell out of line also. And now we have a broken society, a broken home. Our marriages are failing. Our children are being raised without fathers. Or they're being raised by the government, and they're being indoctrinated by this cultural society and this Marxist theory. And as a result of that, what do we have? Where do you think your mass shooters come from? Where do you think your drug addicts come from? Where do you think the ones that are trying to rob us in our inner cities come from? Where do you think the violence in inner communities come from? Why do you think the black community is deteriorating from within? Where do you think that come from? Because the family structure has been broken. So women who are going back to the traditional roles, guess what they're doing? They are fixing it.
Content that celebrates, that, you know, highlights how good the trad life is. It's making traditional gender roles seem appealing, seem cool, seem a part of the future. But if you really spend time with it, and you look at some of these, you know, Instagram accounts or TikToks, what you'll realize is it's as much about what it's against as what it's for.
Thank you for not being ashamed to be traditional, to be Christian, to be conservative, and to
Amen.
be white.
Amen. And see, a black girl could have come and said the same thing and said, traditional Christian, thank you for being black. She's a white girl, so therefore she speaks for being white. There's nothing racist about that. Vice, this video is not helping your argument. This video actually is building the entire system that men is been talking about. This is working in favor. I'm not sure if they realize this. This video is working in favor of women, especially as you like to highlight traditional women, white, straight, trad women. Guess what? You're not actually tearing them apart. Your video is building them up because the very things you're showing as evidence, most of us as Americans agree with.
Feminine, not feminist, right? And so seeding these ideas that, you know, you want to be like me, you know, look how great my life is, children love me, men love me, like, look how celebrated I am in comparison to, right? You'll start to see the ways in which being trad is also about being anti something.
She's trying so hard to create something out of nothing. Here's the thing. Guess what kind of women men are now being more attracted to? Naturally, what kind of women we're attracted to? You think we're attracted to the girl who's making a whole bunch of money running around all over the world, and you know, and I'm saying she's just making things happen. You think that's the kind of women men are attracted to? You have not been paying attention to men. If you are a woman and you think all I have to do is make money, do things, be a bad this, man is gonna love me. I said, you got your thoughts backwards. Guess what men are doing today? There is an exodus happening among men. The red pill community, it is referred to. These men are leaving these United States. They are going to the east. They're going far east. They're going far south. And they are looking to marry women in traditional roles. I'm not sure if you know about that. It doesn't get highlighted, but it's happening. These men are saying we're not marrying these feminist-driven women in this United States anymore. And this is why a lot of women in this country is single, because men are traveling overseas to marry them. I can tell you, I'm telling you facts. Okay, I'm in a church where a lot of the men have married women overseas. Okay, they're going and marrying Chinese women, Japanese women, Indonesian women. They're finding African women. And they're finding women that are not on TikTok, that are not on YouTube. They're marrying women who knows what it means to be women and love children and love raising the home. And that's what they want. The business-minded, running all over the place women that we have today, this capitalistic-driven, let me go get it kind of woman, independent, I don't need no man, woman. We don't want them. Now, I'm married. I'm content with my wife. My wife is great. I have no issue with her. But I'm just saying, majority of men, I'm telling you, we don't want the stuff that the feminist is trying to offer. We are not interested.
Not just pro-tradition, but anti-progress. No role could be more important in the far right than being someone who is willing to uphold a society of tradition.
Anti-progress. So with all the progress that feminism has done, how progressive has it really been? What does that progress look like? Some of the stuff they're calling progress is regress. You really are going backward. But they like them to make it look like these women are bad. No, there's nothing wrong with these women because they want to be home and love their husband and love their children. There's nothing wrong with them. Stop trying to demonize them, acting as if they are so bad. Guess who's doing the bad work? You guys are. You guys are the one promoting ideas that are destroying, deteriorating families in this country. So guess what? We can see past your rhetoric. This is politically driven. This is democratic talking speech. And guess what? Most men will look at this and say, you ain't saying nothing.
Traditional gender roles and to have children and raise children within that society.
Duh.
In Europe, two examples stand out of female politicians leading far-right parties to mainstream acceptance.
Okay.
In France, Marine Le Pen took over her father's far-right anti-immigration party in 2011 and immediately set about trying to soften its hardline image, taking it from the margins to become a major opposition party.
Je contrôlerai l'immigration et rétablirai la sécurité pour tous.
Amen.
Far-right movements and parties, first of all, are highly strategic, and secondly, are highly opportunistic. Women are essentially a tool to that end. Women are seen as having a better entree into that process of detoxification.
There will be.
These guys are lunatics. So these women cannot be free thinkers. They cannot have ambition and purpose driven by the love for their country. They cannot do that just because they love values and principles that matters to them. No. They are far right. They have to be far right. They have to be anti-feminist. They have to be anti-progress. Really? Maybe they just love their country. Maybe they just love family. Maybe they just love their constitution. Maybe they just wanna protect the values of what matters to them. Maybe that's what it is. No, they can't be that. They have to be far right.
In these immigrants, terrorists.
Marine Le Pen is a very
again, we want to talk about immigration. We need to go there. Let's keep listening.
Smart and adept politician. She wants to project racist ideas to potential voters, but she also sees that there's a boundary, and if she goes too far, that would start costing her voters.
But here's the thing. People who are racist are going to find reason to be racist no matter what. That's one thing I've come to understand. You don't have to push racist ideas to get racist people to be racist. Now, some people will pick up on that and lay their foundation and run with it. Like, I think a lot of people did this with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was not trying to promote racism, but some people who are already racist went ahead and used Trump as a baseline to promote whatever stuff they already had in their hearts. You understand? So you don't have to say, it's one thing you are inventing and creating and giving life to it. It's another thing that a person is already driven with the mentality, already willing to carry it out, find an opportunity to do it. It's like the Black Lives Matter protest, right? And you got these people looting stores. You see, these people were already thieves. They've always wanted to steal, but they were not able to. As soon as they have the opportunity, they went ahead and carried it out. That's the point of what I'm trying to say here. So there are people who will do stuff, who wish they could do stuff, who are looking for reasons to do stuff. And as soon as they find an open door, they're going to do it. So that doesn't necessarily mean, the people who are standing for immigration or they themselves giving life to racism. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay? Because people going to go ahead and be racist regardless of these facts. So that's the thing you got to understand. Human nature goes beyond political rhetoric. It's just human nature. Now, should we control as much as possible and protect as much? Yeah, that's what we should be doing. But instead, we promote racism on one end. We call everything racist. And I think by doing that, we actually create more racism. We make racist out of things that are not racist. And that's the problem.
Instead of adding others.
Le Pen has even tried to co-opt feminist arguments, pitching her anti-immigrant rhetoric as a defense of women's rights.
A day after the allegations of mass sexual assault were made public, Cologne continues to search for the perpetrators and for answers.
On New Year's Eve 2015, large numbers of women were sexually assaulted by groups of male immigrants at celebrations in Cologne and other German cities. Far-right parties immediately seized on this to amplify panic about the so-called European migration crisis
that is a problem. So that is a problem. If they're raping the women, shouldn't people be upset about that? Oh no, that's white supremacist. You are far right. You taking advantage of what's happening here to promote things that we don't agree with. You see how crazy these talking points are? Like, are you serious? Vice, what kind of nonsense is this?
Yeah.
An estimated 1,700 right-wing demonstrators protested Germany's liberal immigration policy after more than 20 migrants were arrested for allegedly assaulting women on New Year's Eve.
They have every right to protest. Imagine if one of these women was my wife. These guys came in here illegally, took our women, and raped them. I hate to use the word. I don't want to use that word. YouTube, censorship. Let's be careful. So you say they don't have the right to protest against that? Lord have mercy. For them to protest against that, they have to be right-wings, white supremacists, yada, yada. No. No, these are their values that must be protected. Look what Black Lives Matter did on the death of one man. The kind of stuff that happened in our cities, tearing, burning down businesses, because one man passed. So these 20 women were raped. 20 men raped women. They better be quiet. You know why? Because they're white. They're white. They're not allowed to say anything. And that's something.
Le Pen herself wrote an editorial claiming that immigration from Africa and the Middle East was a threat to women's rights in Europe.
The fact that Marine Le Pen uses women's rights in some arenas and doesn't use women's rights in other arenas is a perfect example of how that's an opportunity.
Oh, lady, please stop. Stop.
Strategy.
Stop.
It's a tool to say, I want to attack ethnic minorities. I'm going to attack them using this tool.
No, you're projecting. You're projecting. All right, I'm just going to bypass what you said.
In Italy, there's been a similar process of female-led detoxification, with Giorgia Meloni leading the far-right Brothers of Italy, which has roots in Italian fascism, to become the largest party in parliament.
So, I would also notice any person who happens to be a Christian who gets involved in politics automatically is classified, and especially if you are conservative, you're classified as a far-right. And I think it won't be long before Christians are deemed racist altogether. Just because you stand for values that are anti-feminist, that are anti-Republican, you're not killing babies. You think women should have their roles. You think there is a difference between male and female. You think all these, automatically, you are classified and get some name calls, and that's something.
Moi, je crois que Mussolini, c'était un bon politicien.
The 45-year-old firebrand insists she's no fan.
Now, she said that Mussolini was a good politician. Now, here's the thing. Is that something you're going to run with and say, you see how they play the game? She may be saying this for some things that Mussolini has done. So you don't establish any context. So what were the reasons? No, we didn't get to hear what the reasons were. Automatically, by her thinking that, she's a bad person. She is a communist. She is. That's not okay. You understand? You can't say that when you're talking about a person's perspective on any matter. You need to hear more than that. And this is what they do that I have an issue with. They just quoted a piece of her video and they just led us with a thought. And that's what I hate about media, these modern day media networks. They are sitting there pushing a political view because they cannot sit there and let people reason things out for themselves. They cannot do it.
Fascist, just a proud conservative and nationalist.
And unlike Marine Le Pen, Giorgia Meloni doesn't use feminism in order to gain votes.
I see the woke ideology. Will we surrender in front of this?
In fact, she openly rails against modern feminism, instead championing so-called traditional family and gender roles, despite herself having faced...
What's wrong with that? I still don't get what they're trying to say.
The stigma of being an unwed mother.
Sí a la familia natural. No a los lobby LGBT.
Man.
Like virtually all far-right politicians, extremely contradictory. Some parts of feminism work for her as a politician. At the same time, absolutely interested in using anti-LGBT, anti-women's rights, anti-welfare for immigrant rights rhetoric when it suits her. Very important to realize that women are not politically a monolith now or in history. We create our own peril by failing to understand how central women can be in the far right if we have blinders on that make us think that far right is a man's terrain and progressive politics is a women's terrain.
Okay.
And guess what? Now we're pissed. And we
That's crazy. These Trump's rallies are oftentimes loaded with black people and black women. And throughout this whole entire thing, they have not highlighted one black person. It goes to show they are making sure that you think of conservative women only as white supremacists. Because if they show you black people, that will deteriorate the nature of their argument as a whole. And what they fail to realize, or they do know, or they refuse to put in front of our faces, is that there are a lot of black people who were for Trump and still are. There are a lot of black women who are conservatives and should be acknowledged. How come they were not highlighted in here? Is because there was a message they wanted to promote. So therefore, I'm going to give you a nice thumb down because you ain't saying nothing.
have very good reason to be pissed. And I hope you're not twisting this for your liberal media.
Influencers use the platform.
Exactly. They're twisting it. They're twisting it. She picks up on that. They're twisting the story for liberal media narrative.
Twisting this for your liberal media.
Yes, they are.
Influencers use the platforms won for them by feminist pioneers to attack feminism itself. But as long as they keep pulling in votes and online clicks, no one on the far right is going to get too hung up on these hypocrisies.
There's no hypocrisy there. The Vice put out a video to make white conservative women look bad. They actually did the exact opposite. It's like, I mean, bro, like you wasted camera and films and movies. In my sight, you only made your argument to be proven a lie, and you made these women look better. In my sight, many men will look at this and say, duh, what are you mad about? What's wrong with women standing for values that matters to them, voting for conservative parties? What's wrong with that? Because they don't agree with me? They don't agree with you? That's an issue? I'm like, give me a break. Give me a break. They're trying to save their homes. Oh, stop. Get over yourself. I don't have time for that. I don't have no respect for this. This is all nonsense. This is all political rhetoric. I have no respect for that. And that's why you don't show any single, not a single black woman was shown. And that tells you a lot because they wanted to make sure you get the story that they're trying to paint. Yeah, try again. This is what you call deception. You know, this is why Jesus warns us about deception. I have no respect for it. And I know I'm pushing and kicking against Vice here because I know Vice, I have no respect for you. If you're going to go ahead and do something like this and try to twist people's view of reality, twisting the story. Stop doing that. Jesus says, take heed, let no man deceive you. I'm learning more and more how to discern some of these people. I'm learning more and more how to discern them. Before I used to watch something like this, I'd be like, yeah, man, that's true, man. Oh, yeah, look what you're saying. That makes perfect sense. But now I'm looking at them like, I can see your face. I see your heart. I see your heart. I could read between the line. You lying. You trying to deceive people. You lying. You don't care about no women. You don't care about no traditional roles. You don't care about progressive. You don't care about that. What you care about is pushing a particular story that lines up with your political views. And guess what? We saw right through that. Anyway, leave these women alone. If you happen to be white Caucasian women, since we're speaking from the perspective of Vice here, and you love your family and your husband, you're standing for values that matters to you, you go ahead. You keep on doing that. And if you happen to be a black woman, you love your values, you stand for what is right, for your family, for your husband, you stand for your business and so on, you go ahead. Don't let these people play with your emotion. You're doing the right thing. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye. Hello friends, did you enjoy today's video? I hope that it was clear and I hope it was a blessing to you. And if you have, make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification uploads, okay? There are links below where you can get in touch with us, links where you can support the channel, links to our merch, and also if you want to join the community page, join the Look and Live YouTube family. And if you have any question, any prayer requests as well, we welcome all of that in the discussion. Join also our Discord page, and there are a number of things there as well where we communicate with you on a daily basis about what's happening in the channel. By the way, if you happen to be interested in the study of the Word, we have a YouTube channel dedicated for that, the Look and Live Bible Studies YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe to that as well. And as always, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.